Okay, g'day again, and sorry it's been a little bit distant as far as getting videos up lately. This radio's been sitting here for a week, maybe, no, I don't know, Fletch, longer I think. Maybe closer to a week and a half. Anyway, fortunately for a mate of mine that is extremely patient, and initially I thought it didn't have really an issue, to be honest. This is the JC Penneys 6241, and as you can see, immaculate condition. This just great mate of mine that I want to move him over here because he can polish up the knobs and things for me on radios. He does a better job than I do. Okay, so complaint with this radio was that the not so much complaint, but certainly, look, you know, something that needs to be looked at, was that its average power was possibly not, it was driving okay on AM, but just on sideband that really not doing its thing. Now, I had a bit of a look, and we're on dummy load, of course, at the moment. 1 2 3 4 5 1 2, hello test, 1 2 1 2. All right, and a couple of ways that we look at this, and it's transmitting fine. If I go to PEP, which will 150 watt scale here. 1 2 3 4, hello 1 2, hello 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2. So that's, take that down to a 15 watt scale because it might sort of give us a better idea. 1 2 3 4 5 1 2. Actually, let me just turn that audio down because I'm not actually tuned on that properly at the moment. 1 2 3 4 5. Okay, so we can see that it's still hello 1 2 on the PEP meter. That looks pretty good. So let's go down to its average meter on the 15 watt scale. And let's just see what our drive's like, because back on the average, you'll sort of see how well the PP can sometimes obviously give you a bit more of a, just sort of accelerates that needle a little bit. Anyway, let's have a look. Hello 1 2 1 2 1 2, hello 1 2. Now see how my mate's right. 1 2 3 4 5 1 2. It's not that it's not that it hasn't got, you know, 12 to 15 watts of power. That's not the issue. It's definitely doing power, but he's right. It's not driving as well as it should be. Now, when we come over to our trusty Sam's manuals, this one has the JC Penneys 6241 in it, which is lovely. Once again, thank you, Ross from Strictly Ham. I have 291 of these. Actually, I've got some double ups now. I've got some coming down from Queensland because I wanted them so much. But I've got the full set. But anyway, full series of these. These are a godsend. If anybody out there, you know, wants to get some good advice on what they should be looking at, this saves the guesswork. Generally, we can go through a board like this and say, right, let's have a guess where the ALC might be, and you would never have guessed that it's actually smack bang right down. Hang on, I need something a bit more insulated. Really. I had something here a second ago. The story of my life, there it is. Okay, but the ALC for this is actually tucked away down there, right there. I mean, you can't really see, oh, sorry, I need to move this case a bit. I can't really get in there with my camera because I want you to see where the ALC is, because it is a, so you've got two controls down here. The one to the left, right down there, is the ALC. So let's just have a look. If we adjust the ALC, I won't adjust it with this because it's a little bit too small. Just realised, but I can do it with this one here, which is a little bit larger than what I normally do. So I've just popped the ALC up, and on an average meter now, let's have a look at what we're doing. Hello. Now, see how that ALC lets go there? It's lovely. Let's just have a look on a PP meter. It should be right over 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2. Okay, so that was you know, dynamically what was going on was that 1 2 3 4 5 1 2 1 2. Yeah, lots of meter movement there. 1 2 3 4 5 1 2 1 2. So we've got that average up a lot better. That being said, there's not much else wrong with this, and the reason it had to come back in was that it was just a thought by that friend of mine that you know, possibly should have been driving a little bit harder. He's 100% right. This is how they set them up standard, and that is very typical of a standard setup that you'll find, this was the reason that people, bought power mics and things, but often that wasn't going to bring the average up until that ALC was allowed to open up a bit. But overall, just having a look, AM 1 2 1 2. Oh, we're going to be on PEP, so I might just take that AM power up a little bit too, actually. So what we do is we go over, we have a look at our little thing here. Look how easy it is. There's the AM power. So basically, when we have a look there, that is the AM power sitting down in there, if I've got that right. Hang on, I just need to check there's two there. Nope, sorry, that one there. Yep, sorry. So the one at the back there, that's your AM power. So let's just sort of adjust that. See if we can just get a little bit more out of that, because actually that definitely should have been, we should have caught that first time up. Now because I'm using one hand here, all right, let's have a look there. I'm just having a little play on the fly here. Actually, no, I'll have to just put this down for a second and I'll just show you the result in a tick. Okay, so I've just done a slight adjustment. Now we're looking at the scale there. It's right on 4 watts there. 1 2 3 4 5 1 2. Now let me just take it off PEP for AM, otherwise we're going to see that meter. We should just see a slight fluctuation on average power. 1 2 3 4 5. That's much better. Okay, good. And let's just see if we can actually hear something, which would be nice too. If I can just pick up this microphone. I'm using the IFR 1200S today. I thought something different. 1 2 3 4 5. Turn the volume up a little bit more. 1 2 3 4 5. 1 2 3 4 5. Yeah, lovely. Okay, so we've got much better mic output coming out of this now, and I'll just turn the generator off there. Turn that down a bit. Otherwise, I'll blast myself next time. But yeah, they'll look good. Now, those two adjustments, which obviously down here AM power, down here to the left, as in right down there, as in your ALC, those two adjustments alone should mean you don't really need to go through it here and do any massive peaking at all. I'm going to leave this completely standard because I like what it's doing. It's it's doing its 12 to 15 watts or so. Struggling to get that last 3 watts out of it. Really, I just think these things run beautifully at 15 odd watts, or 12 to 15. Legally, they're supposed to be 12 watts max, obviously, but obviously a lot of them could do a bit more than that. Not a lot more though. Don't fool yourself and think it's like a 25 watt radio. They're just a single output, driver and output in here. So I can't read in there what they are from here, but it'll be a typical 2SC 1969 and 2166 driver, or 1306, 1307, 1306 being the driver, 1307 output. Very, very typical of the time. If I went through and had a little look at the parts list here, we'd be able to find out exactly what they used. But as you can see from the SAMS manual, the SAMS manual gives you so much. There's just no guesswork, and that's the great thing about the SAMS manuals. And this just goes on and on and on, page after page, showing you exactly. Now here's the transmitter stage here. On a separate board, the transmitter stage basically is showing us here that if we've got a transmit problem, start looking for the 7.96 volt here on transmit. Same here, driver output, etc. The great thing about the SAMS manual is that it's very fast to be able to look at a circuit and say, righto, where is, hang on, I'll just bring this, I'm going to have to put a stand on this camera one day, aren't I? So there's, even there's a good example. There's our AM power control where we just adjusted our AM setup, etc. And here we go. And they're actually using it a little bit different here. 2SC 1307 for the final. The driver, they're using a 2SC 1909, which is not one you see as much. And the little pre-drivers are 2SC 454, which once again you don't see, normally 1974, something like that. So, but yeah, look, your SAMS manuals, if you're getting into doing any level of service, as a priority, get yourself some SAMS manuals, find them, sort of, I don't know who you've got to kill to get them these days, but seriously, they are really an incredible asset to, once again, like here's all our areas for the receiver. Just so simple, just, so easy to adjust up. Full breakdown of exactly your alignment. Look, I seriously mean this. I don't really need to have a hell of a lot of electronics background to follow the instructions off a SAM's manual. Brilliant, absolutely brilliant. All right, well, that's looking quite good. And if you get a chance to buy a JC Penneys 6241, look, I know they're not cheap. I've got one myself, which is part of our JC Penney range, and we've got quite a few JC Penneys which we've collected from the US. And the big thing being that whatever the radio price is, you can pretty much double it, because it's going to be the freight component of that's going to be your problem. So basically, the JC Penneys 6241, no, you're not going to buy it for $200, unfortunately. You might buy it for $200 US, and you might then have to ship it. But finding one that's as clean as this is the trick. Don't be too worried about the front panel. A lot of the front panels on these, this one's been glued down, which is great. They do actually come adrift. So you pull all the knobs off, basically just re-glue it back down and give it a good clean while you've got it off, and they go back on, and they look extremely pretty, as you're seeing. This is probably, apart from the other one that I own, this is probably one of the best 6241s you're going to find. And I mean from the point of view that it's just not played with, it's just not got, no one's been into it. It's just so lovely. For those that don't know, they do have a 110 volt supply in the back. They do have a connector that's impossible to get on the back as well. So there's various little things we've got to do to dodgy that up. They certainly are a magnificent radio. And if anyone ever needs a hand with a 6241, I've probably fixed probably 5 or 6 of them now. I'm not going to say it's 20, but it's probably 5 or 6 of them, and they're just a great radio to run around once you've had a bit of fun with them. They're not one that people often say they're a Cybernet chassis, and yeah, there's elements of Cybernet in it, but this is not a pure Cybernet chassis. This is quite a, I suppose, a 70s design of a early Cybernet, got the makings of, excuse me, and they certainly are a very, very, very nice radio. Probably not a lot more to add on the 6241. You can tell I love them, and that's they're a nice nice radio. This one I'll put it back in a box, and I've got to put something else in that box. And if you're watching this, you know who you are. I will put that in that box as well. Absolutely. But thank you for your patience too, because I've been in bed more than I have been at the bench, and it has not been much fun. For those that are interested, look at that. I was healthy enough to do a wedding. I'm married. I'm loving being married. I have this beautiful wife of mine now. Isn't that a funny statement? Used to say words like partner. Sometimes you'd say wife, even though she wasn't your wife. So nice to be able to say wife. I really got to say that. And I'm now definitely under the thumb, no question. But I've got to say, I couldn't be happier. The wedding went fantastic in a COVID environment where basically weddings are just impossible at the moment. We were able to have the most fun time, and we had a ball. So thank you to all those that contributed to the wedding and were part of it. And I'm sorry, we were limited to 1 hour at the restaurant because of the fact COVID rules say they can't be there more than an hour. But we still had a great time, and we ate fast. But yeah, it was really good. All right, well, this has really been good to just show you a couple of little hints on the 6241. And if you've got any questions going forward, look, I may take a little while to get back to you. I'm getting a lot of emails and messages, which I try to get back to you as fast as I can on different things. Please, I apologise. There was about a couple of weeks break there where I wasn't getting back to anyone. I was just in and out of hospital so much. So please just hang in there, and hopefully we can see better health, more videos, and see a little bit more happening on the radio front from this location. At least we've got a lot going on. There's a lot. So much it's not funny, and I wish I could get it all done, so I could put it in front of you and really show you exactly what's happening. But it's a work in progress. The new room is getting there. We just put all new shelves and stuff in there. So behind the scenes, there's some stuff we'll show you very, very soon. Thanks very much for having a look at these JC Penneys 6241. I'm a real fan of the things. We'll do a more in-depth video when we get antennas back in this room again and some things, and just show you some of these things a bit more operational. But for now, at least you've sort of learned how to knock the ALC up and keep your AM power where it needs to be. Oh, that's another comment too. You can swing that AM power a lot higher up. Don't. Not a good idea. They really get very hot. So 4 to 5 watts, absolutely fine. You'll be fine. Anyway, all right. 73s to you. Thanks very much for all your patience and for sticking with us too. It's nice to sort of be back a bit, and hopefully we can get a few more videos up. All the best. Cheers.